Uganda Girl Guides Association, and this is specifically the office of the National Executive Secretary. Please have a seat. That's my business book.
Hello, our viewers of SSTV Uganda. We are privileged to be before you. I'm Claire Nachibirango. Before us, we are still celebrating the Scouts and the Girl Guides of Uganda. We have our nurse, and we are ready to hear from her. And remember, the Girl Guides of Uganda are celebrating 100 years of existence with achievements, and they have benefited the girl child of Uganda, and you're going to hear more about the girl guiding from our nurse. She's Miss Nabdua Lilian Solo, and we believe we are learning from her every day. You're most welcome on SSTV.
Thank you, Miss Nachivirango. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Like you said, my name is Nabdua Lilian Solo, National Executive Secretary at Uganda Girl Guides, which people commonly say, in short, NES.
Yes. How does that title come into existence? What does it represent?
The NES at Uganda Girl Guides Association is the administrator and head of the secretariat. The secretariat is the headquarters where programs are coordinated, work plans are developed, and where most documents pertaining to Uganda Girl Guides are reviewed, signed, and so on. It's an administrative place.
What is girl guiding?
Girl guiding is something I can say in different things, in different terms. Guiding is a club when you are in school. Guiding is fun. Guiding is a career. Guiding is a way of life. Guiding is cutting across so many things. It can even turn to be a career, a job. But all in all, guiding are a set of activities in whichever setting. But they are a set of activities aimed at developing young girls and young women and empowering them and developing an all-round holistic development of a person.
When I hear about girl guiding, does it consider only girls? Boys are excluded?
Not necessarily, but to be clear is that when we say guiding, we recruit girls to be members. We recruit girls in the membership, but we reach boys as our secondary target.
Okay, girls have to reach boys?
Yeah, girls are our primary target, but boys benefit as our secondary target. So for example, there is no world where you can have girls alone and no boys. Obviously, when we empower the girls and develop them, they obviously have to grow and marry boys. So as our secondary target, we reach out to the boys through the girls or with activities that call for the two to be together. For example, if you are going to talk about development, menstrual hygiene, we talk about social entrepreneurship, there is no world where you are going to have girls alone. But we choose to have girls practice or learn alone in this free state, in a free setting where the girls alone are not trying to work or competing with the boys. But when they are good enough, good to go, like they are empowered enough, they can express themselves, we can let them blend with the boys because they are able to reason and articulate certain issues. But first we consider girls at a tender age everywhere because we want them to compete freely without other interventions.
How does one become a girl guide?
Well, everyone is welcome to be a girl guide as long as you're a girl and you are between the ages of 3 years.
3 years.
And that's our youngest team. They are called the Rainbows.
Rainbows. And as in scouting, we call them Cub Scouts.
Cub Scouts. Yeah.
So in the guides, they are Rainbows. Beautiful names.
And Rainbows wear a red shirt and a grey shirt. Can I introduce her?
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you, because I feel like I want to invite her to join us.
Yeah. You're most welcome on the panel. I'm glad to be with you.
Nice to be with you too.
So Kathy here, she's Mrs. Catherine Nakazibe Serwada. We commonly call her Kathy or Mama Yes.
Mama Yes.
She's in charge of a project or program in the Uganda Girl Guides Association. That's called the Yes Girls Movement. It's actually youth exchange south to south. And now to go back, she'll get on board with them, but I'm going back to talk about the categories of guides. And our second group are the brownies. The brownies wear a brown dress. And they're usually between the age of 6 to 9 years. 6 to 9, 6 to 8. Yeah. Actually, those are the girls in lower primary. Yeah. And then those are the girls that in upper primary, we call them junior guides. They wear a blue dress, and some schools give them a white shirt and a blue skirt. And those are upper primary, something like between P4 to P7. And the girls in secondary call them ranger guides. And the rangers are girls in secondary school, and they wear a white shirt and a blue dress.
Ranger guides.
Yeah, the rangers.
So you first become a rainbow, you become a brownie,
Some
you become
people
a junior, then you become a ranger.
But incidentally, But incidentally, sometimes people do not have to be a junior guide. Where at whatever time you come into contact with us, you can join. It's only important that at whatever time you join guiding, you read our tenderfoot. That's the basic book. Yeah, whether you are 60 years, 50 years, you're an adult, that's the book that is basic for every girl guide. Then you can do other books like the Rangers, you can do the Young Leaders, you can do the Adult Guides training.
So from the Rangers,
we have the Young Leaders and the Cadets. Young Leaders are in the universities, and Cadets are usually in teacher training colleges. And then from the Cadets you have the Adult Leaders. You might find the age may not really matter among Adult Leaders. You might find a person who is 18 years and is already an adult leader, person who is 18 years and is dressed as a young leader, but depends upon the role one is playing. If she's managing a unit, we shall call her a leader.
Young leader.
A young leader is a section of guiding. Those are girls in university. But a leader is a person who is managing a unit. If you have your sets of patrols, you organize, you lead, you train, you're a leader automatically. And those ones who read what we call the adult training framework.
Now where do you fall? Before you being a nurse, which category do you fall in?
I'm a leader.
You're a leader.
An adult leader. We facilitate the activities for the girls.
At what category do you join Girl Guiding? Did you join as a rainbow or a brownie?
I was in P3 and I joined as a junior guide.
Junior guide. How does it feel to be a Girl Guide?
Oh, it was very, you want to take me back on now?
Yeah.
Those days?
Yeah, those days.
It was really nice. It was nice. It was a unique experience because we were called to volunteer. I remember I was in a school in Ginger, and the first time a person came to talk about guiding in my school, it was even a gentleman. He was some Catholic brother coming from St. Gonzaga, and he train us on giving first aid, how to be good, how to respect others and respect God's creation. And I felt I wanted to belong to that kind of people.
So it was a good clever school.
That uniqueness.
Which school was that?
It was called Walukwa East Estate Primary School in Jinja.
So the Ogis and Obis are seeing you.
I'm not sure, because actually in that school I remember one was called Winifred Asimwe. I remember something like that. I don't remember so many.
Is the school still in existence?
Yes.
Could you send some greetings to them? Since SSTV is worldwide, I believe
Okay.
this interview and they'll be proud of such a student like
I really want to send my most heartfelt greetings to all teachers, specifically the teachers of Walukwa East Estate Primary School in Jinja and the teachers of Victoria Nile School in Jinja, because after I left Walukwa East in P4, I joined Victoria Nile. And so in Victoria Nile, a lady called Juliana Bizudenaut used to come and train us along the same values. And it was fun being that person who is supposed to help. And in my primary school, I remember, even when children would fall sick, they would find it easier to ask us to help. Run them to the hospital, the clinic, there's a clinic nearby, or render first aid. These are things I used to enjoy. And to date, I really enjoy giving first aid. That is the first thing I realized when I started guiding at a very tender age.
Now, how does it feel to be a girl guide at your age?
It's still great.
The association is called girl. And now you're no longer a girl, but you're a lady. But
I'm a lady. But girl is the branding, girl guides. Even you need to look at Mama Juliana, she's 90, 89. But she still says, I'm a girl. She even tells us, girls, can you come here? Girls, what are you doing? And she gives us a feeling of feeling good, youthful all the time. And when we are together, it's really fun.
That sense of still being a girl.
And being able, the exercises, the agility, the ability to be able to think fast, do activities,
like a young
be helpful like a young girl. But young girl guiding is just the branding, the naming.
What benefits do you think someone can get when he joins the association of the Girl Guides? When one becomes a Girl Guide?
So many, but at this juncture, I want to ask Kathy to step in and talk, because she manages the girls who are benefiting a lot from this.
Madam Kathy, once again, you're most welcome on SSTV.
Thank you.
Yeah, what benefits does a member of Girl Guiding Association get?
First and foremost, guiding empowers the girl child. So we find that many girls out there, they miss out on that skill. We find that for a girl child, or if a person has been a girl guide, she feels empowered to do different things. Then also guiding trains one on self-confidence. We find that many people in our communities lack self-esteem. I'm one of those people. I used to even fear talking in class. But with guiding, I've come out a very strong person.
I see.
And even when I was in class, you'd hardly hear a word from me. But with guiding, I'm able to lead many girls. I'm able to start units in schools, which is so good for a girl guide. And then we also address issues affecting young girls in our communities. Things like we will have a campaign called Yes Girls Can campaign, where each year we choose an issue affecting girls in our communities. Well, the first one that we handled was on child trafficking. So we spoke against it, we marched against it. We went to ministries and talked about it. It had stopped, it had somehow reduced, though these days I hear the people who are going to work, labor outside the country, that is still a challenge. But at first when we talked about it, it has reduced a bit. Then we are talking about menstruation hygiene and management. We find that many girls, especially in rural areas, they have a challenge of pads. You find that a child does not even have any knowledge of menstruation. She starts menstruation, she fears to talk to her parents, she fears to talk to her teachers. And you know, in schools, especially in primary schools, when a girl starts her periods for the first time, they get a sweater, tie it around her waist, then tell her to go back home. They don't even give her a pad to start with. So you find that if a girl maybe has got heavy flow, it will be a challenge. She will soil her skirt, she'll move on the way like that. So we find that many in our communities, they don't really care about the menstruation hygiene and management. So for Girl Guides, we've been teaching people, we've been training even parents, we've been educating them about menstruation hygiene and management, training them on how to handle their children when they start their menstruation, been encouraging them, even men. We've been even encouraging men to assist their daughters. We find that in some families, the father is a breadwinner, so that father is almost supposed to buy pads for the wife and the child and the daughters. So for the girl child, we've been encouraging them to take part in our activities. So we've had slogans like my period, my pride.
Have you seen these talks yield out positive results?
The what?
Oh, the talks that they...
Yes, they have. We find that many people, you find that at first when you had just started these campaigns about menstruation hygiene and management, when you talk about the word itself, menstruation, people would even close their ears, people would even close their eyes. They'd be, what are you talking about? You know, in our cultures, we take menstruation as something like a taboo, something private, something like an issue. You know, there is that what they call ensonga. Meaning menstruation is an issue.
Yeah.
So now, we are getting away from that. We've been teaching girls and boys how to make reusable pads. Then you ask a boy, who are you making the pad for? My mother, my sister. And then some of them be like, I'm going to go back home and teach my sisters on how to make reusable pads. And you know, for the pad, we've not really taken keen interest in this, but pads are expensive. You find that a pack is at 4,000 shillings. And for some children, they use 1.5 packet, some of them 1 pack. So parting with 4,000 a month for a raw child is hard. So we've come up to train girls on how to make reusable pad. So she can use that, she can have maybe a set of 4 pads, wash them in the night, then in the morning they'll be dry, and then use them the following day. So she needs 4 for like 2 years. Yes, so we've really addressed that. Then we've also had campaigns on environmental campaigns. We find that we have a lot of plastic pollution, especially in the urban areas. People throw papers, plastics, they throw bottles everywhere. You find somebody's driving, after drinking, throws a bottle outside through the window. So we've also tried to address that. And we've also encouraged people to recycle. You find that when you buy a Kavera plastic bag, you need, a person comes back home with like 4 plastic bags. But if somebody bought shopping bag, she will use 1 for like 2 years. And that way, she will somehow reduce on the number of plastic bags she carries home. So, and then also, these are also carrying bottles, water bottles. So instead of buying mineral water in a mineral water bottle, if somebody has a water bottle, she can boil water and take it. So a person can take like 5 bottles of water. So that means that she will have used 5 bottles of water, so thrown away into the environment. And as we all know, it is very hard. Actually, those things, they take very long, 100 years to decompose. So in case you have to use 5 every day, when you calculate, when you use your mathematics, you'll have used a lot. Then we also encourage on the component of menstruation, we also have an environmental component. We find that even if you have the means of buying the pad, a disposable pad, then that disposal becomes a problem. That pad, when you throw it in the environment, Imagine that you at home, you have about 5 daughters, plus their mother, the sixth one. Sometimes an auntie who visits. So, and each of them uses 3 pads a day. And then maybe the menstruation days are 3. Those are 9 pads. So, and then they are throwing them in the environment. Remember, they are not also going to decompose. But when somebody uses a reusable pad, she keeps on reusing it. So we've also been talking about environmental issues. When we also teach girls practical issues, we talk about, we teach them on how to, when we go camping, we teach them survival skills, and among them, we teach them how to make gadgets, we teach them how to make local tents from local materials. They make gadgets. If we went camping, you'd be impressed. You find a person in their homestead, they have a temporary gadget. They've made a gadget for blankets, a gadget for holding cups, for holding shoes. It's so exciting. So guiding is fun.
Our viewers of SSTV, remember we are still celebrating the 100 years of cow guiding in Uganda. And Madam Kate plus our nurse, Miss Lillian, they are discussing for us the importance of being a cow guide, what benefits you get after becoming a cow guide, and how has been cow guiding of importance in the community. As we're celebrating the 100 years, how have you promoted girl guiding? Because out there, some people don't know about it. Some people knew about it when they were still in school, those are our parents, but currently you can see a few guides along the way as you're moving. What efforts, what plans do you have to promote the fight of girl guiding in Uganda?
Okay. With time, most people you come across will tell you, we are girl guides in primary. But when you went to secondary, we didn't find the club there. So they stopped, they don't find, there is no connection.
Continuation.
And then they tell you, after that, when I went to university, I didn't say, or maybe I came back to become a teacher, then I started guiding in my school.
Because she had that spirit.
Yeah. So it makes it voluntarily, it does not have, people have to pay you to do it. So it depends on people's goodwill. But other people we've interacted with will tell you, I wanted to be a girl, I always wanted to be a girl guide, but I went to a school that didn't give me that opportunity. We still call them on board, we invite them, we train them, and we roll out activities. We realized at one point that even those that were girl guides said, I stopped because I learned the skills. Now what do I do with them apart from sustaining us? So for them, when there's no more adventure, they kind of fall off. So we introduced other items alongside guiding in schools, like besides menstrual hygiene. By the way, she forgot to tell that we made schools care for the girls. We've talked to school administrations to put up shelters for girls, which has helped girls to stay in school in some places. Dormitories are there, but apart from the day scholars, we have to go and change. During periods, you don't have to be sent home, but they can come back and clean up, have water, clean up and go back to class.
And Lillian, I'd also want to add on that. So since I'm here with you people, so many people view with us today, the head teachers, the parents, please check where your girl child goes to school. When we move around in schools, we find that in some schools, the toilets don't have doors. How can a girl child go to a toilet without a door?
Some share them boys.
So we encourage you people, when you take your children to school, check where your children sleep, check where your children go to.
Is themselves?
Go to? Yes.
You've talked about, you're still discussing the promotion.
So what we did is, because we improve, we revise our activities in schools. We have also gone into the communities. We are in the community of Soroti, addressing the underage alcoholism. We learned that there are many children taking a lot of alcohol. especially with the circulation of sachets. Because those people who sell alcohol have been so smart that they want everybody to be able to access the alcohol. So they can even pack very small, affordable portions for people. Anybody, so that it's affordable and anybody can access it. So I always wondered, why do we, it's not a basic need, but they are packing it that way. But you don't find anybody packing small meals, affordable milk for people. Because actually it's a need.
It's a need.
But why do we? So such things, we went down to Soroti to talk to the communities in Soroti. Ask them to advocate against alcohol use for children between the age of 12 to 25. More especially because after they get sick due to alcohol effects, they can't even afford the treatment. Much as we actually get taxes from these things, but it does not kind of support the sick people in hospitals suffering from the after effects of alcohol. So it's not about campaigning trade, but people just have to be conscious of their health. So we went into the communities with that project, and we still realized many people came back to guiding in Soroti, and even we got visible, like you said. And we are winding up that project this year in December, but they are already sad we are leaving. We only encourage the communities in Soroti to know the purpose of us having been there and to carry on with advocacy, because the children we are safeguarding are our children, and we need them to be healthy so that the next generation is of healthy people. That is one way. That is in community guiding. We also do crafts in community guiding. We reach out into refugee settlements.
Promotion and giving back to the community.
Giving back to community. We are into refugee settlements, talking to the refugees, talking about peace, talking about social entrepreneurship, using the available resources to age a living, either do something financially, do something culturally, provided it benefits other people. And this has motivated more girls to come back to guiding, because initially they would tell us, but when we learned how to do rope walk, we got the skills, but now we are too busy, we want money, and you tell us to do volunteering all the time. So much as they volunteer, but there are other skills they are attaining. When the girls finish, when the girls are around 18, obviously not all, we have a program that sends them out of the country, the same exchange. We send them to different countries to learn from the host organizations. They learn managerial, office practice, and they learn skills and the diversity of that country. They come back very empowered, and they come back ready to start life in a different way.
It's really encouraging.
They spend 6 months on that exchange, so when they come back, they are not the same people we sent out.
Thank you very much for all those initiatives that you're bringing out to see the girl child raised high. Madam Kada talked about the camping issue. What happens in the camps of the girl guides, so that as we are still celebrating the 100 years, we haven't reached the climax. I believe you're preparing the camp for the climax.
Yes.
When is that, and what can you give us that can really entice us, and you feel all the girls in Uganda from each and every region have to come for that camp and enjoy and learn?
Okay.
What really happens in the camp?
So when the girl guides go camping, first of all, the first thing that comes to our mind is having fun.
Yeah.
So when we go to camp, we train them practical skills. These girls at camp, we don't have central cooking. So we would divide ourselves into homesteads. So each homestead sometimes comprises of maybe 8 people. 8 people is one patrol, so it can comprise.
A patrol's 8 people.
8 girls.
8 girls. So they can be 8 girls. They can be 1 patrol, 2 patrols, 3 patrols. So they stay in a homestead, and in that homestead, they learn how to do many things in their homestead. First of all, like some parents don't give the opportunity to their girls to cook at home.
Especially
But in the camp, they have to cook their own food. And and then again in the camp, they have to learn punctuality. Everything is done on time. If you are not on time, you'll miss out on food. If you are not on time, you'll miss out on activities. If you oversleep, you find your beddings out, because in the morning nothing remains on the floor. So everything has to be put on a gadget. So, and then again, if you don't carry out, if you don't follow the program, your patrol will not excel. So, and none of the girls would like a patrol to fail. So obviously the girls pull up each other. They have to work as a team. So yes, so we also learn teamwork. Then we have something exciting. Ever since I was a child, I loved campfire. Wow. Actually, for one of the things that take me camping is campfire. Campfire, we dance around the fire in the evening.
When did you join Girl Guide?
I joined, I think, when I was like 3 years.
Wow, so you were the rainbows.
Yes. And with this one, while at camp in the evening, we sing and dance around the fire. So we sing, we dance, we tell stories. It is so exciting.
Activities, they're really good.
The originality.
Yeah. And then of course in the camp, we do training. For the national camps, we have different types of camps. So you can organize a weekend camp. Then we have district camps, regional camps, but then for the national camp, it involves everybody in the country. So the girls come from different districts to camp for the national camp. And our camping grounds are in Kazi, though very soon we shall communicate another place for our camping grounds, because we've come so many and the place has become small, we can no longer fit there. So in the national camp, sometimes we have a training camp, sometimes we just have so with that one, with a competition camp, it is actually not leisure. It is a competition camp. So after you've learned everything in your other camps, you come here for competition. The winners get awards. And then also, those ones who feel that they are not ready, they come as free campers. Those ones come to enjoy. And in camps, we also learn other skills. So we train them, sometimes we bring inspirational speakers to talk to them. We teach them first aid during the camp. Then we have sessions maybe on health living. So we have a number of topics that we talk about during the camp. And the girls, when they go back home, they also teach about crafts. So when they go back home, they go when they've learned something, when they
have
teach
some
skills.
samples of the crafts there.
Yes, we have some.
Okay.
We have some. We have some. And then like you've all seen, I've also talked about reusable pads. So we've learned how to make pads.